Alright guys, so today I'm going to be making white chocolate blueberry biscotti. Guys, so already in my bowl I have 2.5 cups of flour, and then I'm adding a cup of sugar, half a teaspoon baking powder, and half a teaspoon baking soda. Now I'm going to mix that together, and then I'm going to go in with 3 eggs, and I'm going to beat those before I add them into the flour mixture. Then I'm going to be using clear vanilla. You can use whatever vanilla you have on hand. I just use about a half a teaspoon because you really don't need that much. And I'm going to mix that together, and you'll start to see it resemble like crumbs kind of. And once I get that together, halfway, I'm going to go in and use my hands to better get a feel of, the consistency and the texture of it. It's going to be a really soft, wet dough in the beginning, but you're just going to keep kneading it and adding more flour, and it'll be a good consistency. So this is what the dough looks like after I kneaded it for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can see it's still very wet, but that's okay because we're gonna add more flour as we go along. So next I'm gonna add my blueberries. I used about a half a cup of frozen blueberries. You can use whatever kind you want, and about 3/4 cup of white chocolate chips. I'm just gonna mix that together. Right now it's gonna seem like it's not really incorporating, but once you really get into it and you start adding more flour, it's gonna better incorporate. So I'm adding a lot of flour to my work surface because just by touching it and feeling it, I know it's gonna need a lot more kneading, a lot more flour to be the consistency that I want. For a biscotti dough, you really want to make sure your mixture isn't wet going into the oven because it'll take double the amount of time to bake, and you don't want that, especially because the biscotti is supposed to be crispy. So even as I'm cutting it in half and shaping it into the desired shape to bake, I'm still gonna add more flour. So when you pick it up, you can see it's still a little sticky. So I'm just gonna knead some more flour into that, and then as I'm holding it, knead it in my hands. So I went and shaped it into 2 logs, and I'm gonna bake it at 325 for about 30 minutes. And this is what it looks like after. And you want to let it cool before you cut into it. And so that's the color that it should be um, when after the first bake. And then I'm gonna cut it into about half-inch slices. And you can keep the ends, you cannot keep the ends, just totally your preference. And inside you can still see it's very soft. So when we go for that second bake, it's really gonna crisp up the cookies more. And I'm gonna go in and cut my second log into slices. So that's what it looks like, and then I'm going to bake them at 325 for 8 to 10 minutes on each side until they're crispy like that. And this is completely optional, but after they cooled, I just drizzled them with white chocolate.